hello.
It wasn't really Adam.
I mean, it's too fucking late now. Welcome to Sometimes Video Games. We are live on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. How are you doing?
Are we also live on YouTube's competitor?
No, we're not live on YouTube's competitor right now. No. I mean, are we not allowed to mention Twitch?
I don't know. I'm just too scared, man. Like, YouTube's much more aggressive with these things.
You're not right. You're not wrong. Hey, if we just get banned in our first ever YouTube podcast stream.
Twitch. I love Twitch. Twitch is great.
I guess we can
Twitch,
just go
right?
back
It's
to
so
Twitch
much
with
better than YouTube. Oh my OMG.
I know, right?
It's actually doesn't matter. It's a separate conversation for a separate time.
It is a separate. You're not wrong. Yeah, it is a separate conversation for a separate time. Anyway, welcome to Sometimes Video Games.
Twitch. Twitch.
Hey.
I'm a Twitch. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Welcome to Sometimes Video Games. I'm Adam, and as per usual, I am joined by the very lovely, sort of active today, Charlie Walsh. How are you today? Are you feeling okay?
You know what it is, yeah? It's all this waking up lark I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is like peak performance period for Charlie.
Are you feeling better? Are you like
so much
happy?
better.
And not, I mean, not happy, but like
not happy. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. but honestly, right? I cannot begin. It's been transformative. Just getting up early, just waking up.
What time have you been waking up?
7 o'clock, between 7 and 8. Between 7 and 8. I've got but here's the key. No alarms. I'm just waking up naturally.
Used to it now. Yeah.
I'm like falling asleep. Like by about this is gonna bode well for tomorrow, but by about 7 o'clock my brain is folding inwards on itself and I am dying. Then I'm like falling asleep in my chair at like 10, 11, and then I'm getting up, going to bed at like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever. And then I wake up naturally at like between 7 and 8. Like today, I woke up completely and utterly naturally. And there's only 2 days in the past week and a half where I've woken up via alarms, and that's because I haven't had a phone because my phone went down the toilet, obviously.
Oh,
so,
shit, yeah.
Down the literal toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I dropped it down the actual toilet.
Well, you like down as in like it's gone, or down as in like you dropped it, it's wet, doesn't work now, and you took it back?
Did I not tell this story? I thought I was told this story last week. Oh, okay.
No, I don't think you did.
Okay, but basically, to end the other thing before I started. So, so because I haven't had a phone working because I dropped it down the toilet, I've had no alarms or anything. And so the alarms that wake me up were my girlfriend's for work, and they're still at like 8:30 in the morning. And then I'd hear her first alarm. She ain't waking up because that's the first alarm.
Yes.
Whereas I'm like, I'm awake now, so I just get up and go about my business. It's weird because the first, like, before this period, my like prime working hours, like I would be most focused and most concentrated, would be like 1 a.m. till 5 a.m. Like that's when I would be like able to super uber concentrate on everything. Whereas now I'm finding it's the opposite, where I'm waking up and I'm like alert, I'm like on it.
Really?
It's actually amazing. But yeah, tell the phone story.
We'll tell the phone story after I introduce Louis as well, and then we'll carry on.
Fair.
Thank you.
Also with Louis Birtwistle, how are you today?
Hi, Adam.
Are you okay? What's happened?
Yeah.
Have you just died of something?
Apart from the existential dread, I feel fine.
That's good. I'm glad. You're just fine. Nothing else.
Yeah, nothing else at all, and don't question it. It's just fine.
I mean, okay, that's just good. Charlie, when you, I think I want to ask this question before. Like, so you're feeling really productive?
Yeah, mad. Like at a different time. I'm probably as productive as I was. Yeah. Maybe for longer now. Because now I'm feeling productive from like, literally, I'll wake up and do you know what's really nice about not having a phone? And I've always said people should just get rid of their phones. Yeah. I can't be asked with it. I spent 2.5-3 years without a phone, and it was honestly one of the best times of my life. But one of the beautiful things about not having a phone and waking up is like, I don't know the time. I look towards the curtains, and if there's light, then I'm like, okay, I could probably get up now, because I know it's at least 7 o'clock or whatever. So I wake up, so I get up, and then I just like, maybe I'll go and have a shower, do some washing up, whatever, listen to music. But I've not looked at the time at all, and I'll have done like all of that. Like the other day, right? I woke up at, I don't know what time it was, and then I had a shower, did the washing up, tidied up the house, and then that was all by 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh shit!
And then all of a sudden, from like 9 until whenever, I just can do whatever the hell I want. And I'm finding now that I'm really focused, because obviously, like, I have ADHD, so like my focus is all over the shop usually anyway. But like, I'm really focused from like literally the time I wake up, because I have all of the energy, because I've slept a good amount and I'm waking up naturally. I'm focused from the time I wake up until 5, 6 at night, like very easily. Like I'm proper like hyper focused. Whereas before, I would really struggle to gain any focus until about 1 o'clock in the morning, when my brain would go, now go. And then I'd be really focused until I fell asleep. And I'm also way more tired as well. Like when I go to sleep, I'm like tired. Whereas before, I would just be like, I should probably sleep at this point.
Yeah, I get
It's weird, man. It's good. It's really good. It's weird. The problem is I'm keeping it now, but obviously, well, you two know, and I've spoken about it publicly in a couple of places, but because I'm working the Winter Olympics in February.
I was thinking, how are you going to deal with that?
Yeah, so my schedule, because it's in Beijing, the Winter Olympics this year, and that I do have to work Beijing time, so I'm doing 2 a.m. till 10 a.m. is my shift for 17 days in February, between the 4th and the 20th.
Yeah.
And so I'm planning on sleeping and waking up at 2 a.m. to start my shift.
It's gonna be. Honestly, it's gonna be awful for you.
It's gonna be awful, but it's gonna be more difficult than. So when I did the Olympics and the Paralympics last year, I was staying up. So I was doing essentially the same schedule, so 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. Although sometimes they changed to 4 till 12 and a couple of other bits and pieces, right? But it was a lot easier because I was already going to bed at about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning every day anyway. I just stayed up longer and then went to bed later, and then woke up later. So I'd wake up at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something, and then whatever. So this time I'm planning on waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning for work, working until 10 a.m., and then just spending the rest of my day doing whatever until I go to bed, and then waking up again at 2 o'clock in the morning, which for the first couple of days I think is going to be rough. But after that, I'm hoping I'll be able to deal with it. I mean, it shouldn't be too bad, but the problem is because I have other stuff going on during that time. So yeah, like West Ham matches where I do watch longs for and stuff, where it'd be
you're gonna be dead. You're gonna be dead for those.
There's a couple of those which are at 12:30.
You're not gonna be okay.
So if they were all late ones where it's like 5 o'clock kickoffs or whatever, I would just go to bed at 10 and then wake up for the match at 5 or whatever. It wouldn't be too bad. But because they're at 12:30, what am I gonna do? Have like an hour's sleep and then do it? Like, it's not gonna happen. So I'm just gonna have to do it this way around. The bigger problem is the ones now that are gonna. I think I got a couple at like 4 p.m. maybe. There's a match at 4 p.m. or something. That's gonna kill me. That's gonna be bad. I've also spoken to in the week I had a talk with a client about helping them with some streaming and video stuff, but this is for the Six Nations rugby, which is starting at the same time as the which is starting at the same time as the Winter Olympics. So I'm gonna have to. So there may be some days I work with that, but that means that job isn't going to start until about 4 in the afternoon or something. So those days are going to be. I'm going to be done.
You won't be able. You can't. You literally can't.
Like, yeah, financially says I should, but it's going to be rough.
You can't take on both of those jobs at exactly the same time.
It's going to be rough.
Yeah, it's impossible.
It's doable.
It's not impossible, but it's also like it's
I'm
going to
feel
fuck you up.
I'm going to feel. Yeah, but I mean, it's gonna. Life goes on, you know. But hopefully, though, the idea of waking up earlier at 2 a.m. and then going to sleep later. Hopefully, that means I'll be able to, like, the last day, the 20th, where I do the last Olympic day, just fall asleep as late as possible, and then hopefully just fall back into the 7 a.m. wake up cycle again. That's the goal.
You're gonna have to force yourself into that, I think.
I don't think I will. I fell into it this time. I think I can fall into it again.
Really? I mean,
Yeah, if I that last day when I wake up at 2 a.m, if I then go to sleep at like 10 p.m, which is a long that's a long enough day to be like stupid. Yeah, but it's only 18 hours. Like the whole reason I fell into this the first time around is because I stayed up for 40 hours. Do you know what I mean? It's not
Sure,
it's not doable, and then I fall asleep naturally, wake up hopefully at like 6, 7 a.m, and then just go back into that cycle. That's the aim anyway. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be rough. The phone story, because this is way more fun.
Let's do it.
So,
Yeah, let's do it.
I was on a stream. I was on a West Ham stream,
Mm.
and we were having a discussion about Declan Rice,
Mm.
who I was making the point of saying I think we overrate Declan Rice.
Sure.
I
think I might have heard you talk about that at some point.
he's an exceptional player, but I do think everyone gets a little bit overhyped about this idea. Anyway,
Uh-huh.
So, and I needed to go toilet, and I was like, okay, but I didn't want to miss the conversation because I'm actually interested in what other people. We were having an interesting conversation as opposed to just people screaming at each other.
Yeah.
Right? So I did. So I wanted to actually hear what other people were saying because I'm not someone who doesn't listen to other people when they speak. I actually want to ingest other people's opinions and see how I feel about it, right?
Mm.
And because they were having an interesting conversation, so I put the stream on my phone, put my headphones on, go toilet, right? So I'm peeing. And then as I go to go pee, I put the phone on top of the cistern, which is, we've got a classic sort of cistern, which is kind of your backrest kind of level, if you know what I mean. So I put the phone on top of that, headphones in. You have to remember I have wired headphones.
Yeah.
I ain't one of these dickheads with Apple AirPods or whatever, right? So a wired headphone connection, and I'm peeing, and then I'm like, okay, flush the toilet. Love that, great pee, good work, boys.
Well,
excellent.
Is that what you do every time you go to the bathroom? You congratulate yourself.
Only when it's a good one.
What quantifies a good one?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Particularly vivacious.
Oh.
Yeah. So I had a vivacious piss. Anyway, so clap. Good work, boys.
Okay.
Flush the toilet. As it's flashing, I pick up my phone. I've probably told you both this. I know Adam's probably seen it, and Louis, I think my hands shake all of the time. That's just something I live with. I always have, always will. It's a hereditary thing. My mum has it. My granddad has it. None of us know why. The doctors don't know why. That my mum and my granddad have seen previously don't know why. I'm sure there's a reason that the doctor would know, but the doctors have not informed us what the reason is.
Yeah.
And so I don't. So whatever, my hands are shaking. So I pick up the phone, and my hand shakes because I go to try and press a button on it, and like I let go, and it slips out my hand and goes into the toilet that is flushing. And I'm like, shit. So now it was very exciting because I've never seen a phone go in the toilet before. So that was just fun in general. But I was also like, shit, that's my phone. Now, obviously, when toilets are flushing and all the water's like, you can't see the bottom. You can't see the U-bend.
Yeah, sure.
Because the water's going all so you don't see it, right? So I have no clue whether the phone has gone around the U-bend or whether it's just sat there.
Oh, God.
Now, so my hand just darts into pissy water, right? That's flushing. I just shove it in there. I'm like, right, we've got to see right now. Like, the time is of the essence. I either save my phone now or it's gone. Either because too much water has gone inside it or alternatively it's gone around the U-bend. So I shove my hand in and start tapping around the bottom of the U-bend with my hand to try and find my phone, grab it, find it, grab it, and pull it out. As I pull it out, the stream is still going on the phone, but I can see like a weird color in the top corner of the screen.
Oh.
And so I put the phone onto the bath mat, the foot towel or whatever you want to call it for the bath, and start like padding it. Like just desperately being like, fuck. Okay, this needs to just dry. I need as much water off this as quickly as possible. Right? So I just pat. As I do that, I sort of wrap it up into the towel. I wash my hands. I then run back to the stream, and I say to everyone, I go, right, this is great, but does anyone know what to do if I've just dropped my phone in the toilet? Because I've actually just dropped my phone into the toilet. There is video footage of me doing this, right? And then they all go, put it in rice. which was fucking annoying because I've just been talking about how I think the football player Declan Rice is overrated, and they're all like, ha ha ha, now Rice would have helped you if you put it in a bag of rice. And I'm like, this is great, guys, but my phone has actually gone into the toilet. I need advice. And everyone's like, yeah, put it in rice, but we don't have just rice.
Oh, so it's not like a bag of Declan rice that you're trying to.
We have like microwave rice in the house. But that's already like wet and squidgy, so it's not, because it needs to cook in the thing. You don't add water to it, right? So that's not what you need. You need dry rice, and we didn't have any in the house. I'm like, fuck, what do I do? And so I spend the next like hour on this show. Everyone's having conversations, and I'm walking back and forth, talking, trying to find ways to dry the phone and just to see if it works. Because at this point, I haven't turned it off, but at this point, it's just off. Like it's not. It's not like on, and I'm like shit. So I'm trying to press the on button and stuff. It's not working. The light is like flickering on it in a weird way. So my girlfriend's asleep at this point, because this was like 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's what happens.
She comes into the room at about 5:30, because she slept like super early because she wasn't feeling great the day before. She walks into the room at like 5:30, and she opens the sort of door and looks at me, and I mute myself because I was on the stream, so I mute myself and look at her, and I drop my phone down the toilet. And she goes, I'm not surprised. She walked away, and then like she started doing something in the kitchen. So then I leave the stream and I talk to her, and I was like, yeah, it slipped out my hands, whatever. She goes, oh, that makes sense why you weren't replying to my messages now. And I was like, yeah,
really.
Yeah. And then right, she started, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like I've tried dabbing it dry, it's not really working. And she was like, oh, rice is the thing, but we don't have rice. I'm like, yeah, I know. So she starts Googling it. And the only thing we could come up with that was as close to rice as possible. So like something that's going to absorb moisture, sort of whatever, was that we have in the house was porridge oats.
Porridge oats.
I get a little sandwich bag and fill it with porridge oats, and then just fucking throw my phone in there. So it's like completely surrounded by porridge oats, and then just like left it for like 2 days. And so there's like, and then on the stream I bring it out and I show the camera. I'm like, look at this fucking stupid bag of porridge oats. That's what my phone is currently.
A stupid bag of porridge oats to your phone is.
Yeah. And so I just left it for like a couple of days, and over the next couple of days I had to speak to like a couple of people for work purposes, a couple of clients and stuff. And I'd go, yeah, so at the moment I'm not contactable by phone. Some of them had my phone number and nothing else. So I had to find the email addresses for them and contact them and stuff like that. Just be like, hey, I'm not available via phone right now. My phone's broken. Some of them I just told the story to because I think it's funny.
I mean, you're right. You're not wrong.
And they're like, yeah, because I was like, oh, my phone broke. And then obviously the next question, if you're not like a hardcore businessman who just wants information, the next question is obviously, oh, how'd you break it? And I'm like, well, I was peeing. Yeah, so I tell them. And so over the next, and 3 or 4 different times, and speaking to different people, and they all go, oh, you put it in rice. And I'm like, brother, I didn't have rice.
I don't have any rice.
So I've put it in porridge oats, and they're like, what are you doing, porridge oats? I was like, it's the only option. If I don't have rice, what other option? And they're like, could you've not gone to the shop to get rice? I'm like, it's at 5 in the morning. What do you want from me? I didn't have rice. And so I put it in this porridge oats. So I left it in this porridge oats bag for like, this little sandwich bag of porridge oats for like 2 days. And this was and I was awake for like 40 hours that night. So that was the night where I stayed up for a second, and I had stayed up 40 hours twice in a row.
Yeah.
So I had been up all day, stayed up all night, up all day, slept for a night, up all day, stayed up all night, up all day again. Right. So I'd had like no sleep for like a bunch of time. So then that day, that was the day I dropped it in. I stayed up all day, went to bed, woke up the next morning at like 7:30, and then just carried on that trend from there. That's where I'm at. But yeah, so no, I get it. So I get it out 2 days later. I wake up at like 7. I'm like, fuck it, let's give it a shot. Get it out, try to turn it on. It gets to the on screen where it's like loading, and then would just turn off again. And there's like parts of the screen which have like multi-colors in it because water's got underneath it, and the things are just fried and done in. And so I did consider trying to fix it. My girlfriend, who's big into preservation of like data and photos and family history and all that stuff, is very frustrated by the fact I just lobbed my phone in that had no backup into a toilet. But no, so today I have received my new phone.
Well done.
The first time I've
what's
had
the new phone?
I got a Samsung A12.
Oh.
which is a very cheap Samsung phone, which I was here for, 150 quid.
I'm always here for cheap Samsung phones. They're pretty good cheap Samsung phones, to be fair. I've got a
not
pretty
bad,
cheap
yeah,
one.
not
Yeah.
bad.
Samsung
And the great thing
Galaxy
about
phone.
me, because obviously I had several years where I didn't even have a phone,
Mm.
and so I always buy really cheap phones now. Like not the cheapest you can get, but like cheap
No, of course,
smartphones that
yeah,
are like
yeah,
in the
yeah,
100 to 150 range,
yeah.
because I know I don't really need it that much.
Mm.
So I just get a phone, right? But what the beautiful thing about always buying crap phones is that every phone seems like the biggest jump up in technology ever. So like today I got
Yeah.
this phone and I took a picture of something to send mum because I was talking to my mum earlier about something, and I'd mentioned something that was outside the house. I was like, I'll take a picture and send it to my mum. And I took a picture and I was like, oh my god, this camera's so good compared to my old camera. And like in the grand scheme of cameras on phones, it's probably horrendous.
I mean,
but for me, it's
yes,
like the
no,
greatest thing that's
absolutely,
ever
yeah.
existed in the
I
world.
get you.
So yeah, so I got my new phone today.
Hey.
And yeah, that's been the journey of my mobile communications for the last little while. And yeah, I have had to tell several very important people who pay me in thousands.
in thousands.
Yeah, that I threw my phone down the toilet. So it's been a thing. It's been a thing. It did get brought up on a group call yesterday with the Olympics people.
Oh, really?
Because,
Well, they were like, "Oh, Charlie's not gonna fucking phone again, the dickhead."
so to sign so it's part of the process. You have to sign into a platform to download footage in order to edit it, to upload it to
Sure.
YouTube
Oh,
and
that
stuff,
sounds
sort of
like
stuff.
a pain in the ass.
Which is like a fucking private business back end thing for the Olympics and the people who I'm working for, who I probably shouldn't name, but I've probably
No,
have
of
before,
course.
but I won't. But yeah,
Sorry, whatever.
and I was on a call, but I had to. But part of that, you have to set up two-factor authentication. You have no choice. They're like, you have to have it. We can't let you just sign in. You have to have it. And so I had the embarrassing moment of having to email the person where I went, hey, I can't sign it because I needed to do it before this meeting yesterday, but obviously I couldn't because the phone. I said, hey, my phone's. I broke my phone recently, so I can't sign in via two-factor authentication. I should get a new one tomorrow. And then I'll straight away sign in and let you know if there's any issues. And him being a very nice man went, oh, what happened to your phone? Are you all right? And I was like, oh, yeah, went down the toilet. And then explained it to him, and he went, that's funny. All right, fair enough, no worries. And then on the business call,
Don't worry about it.
yeah, but then we have a business call with like 15 people for like, and this is not just me and him and like the other like the two other editors. This is like me, him, like Olympics people, all this other stuff. And he's like, yeah. So he's like, so just one of the Olympics people just goes, oh, so just to check, the editors, are you guys all have got access to the system now? Blah 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 blah. And then he speaks up and goes, yes, we do have to wait on one new phone for a reason of which I can't explain. But yeah, apart from that, we're all good. And then he just like, when you're like on a visual call with someone, and even though you're not in person, you can't make eye contact, you sort of know you're making eye contact.
Yes.
And we both just sort of smirk at each other. And then everyone goes, okay, yeah, no worries, and carries on. And I was like, oh, I did not want to have to explain to the people who run the ultimate athlete thing in the world. Yeah, I'm an idiot and I've dropped my phone down the toilet because I'm as dexterous as I am stupid. So yeah, it was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a thing. Oh.
It was very much a thing. So that's been my week of woes of mobile phones.
There we go. Excitement in for us all. Really.
So if you've ever wondered what like a flushing toilet feels like to shove your hand in, I now know.
What did it feel like? Go on, give the quick.
Refreshing. I can't lie to you. You know what I mean?
You enjoyed it. You were like, this is actually quite nice.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's so strange.
It was a nice feeling. It was funny. And then I got the phone today, and obviously the first question most people ask me is it waterproof? And I'm like, I'll flush you down the toilet next if you don't shut up, mate. I've got form. I'll do it like a bully in an American show. I'll flush your head down the toilet.
You'll flush someone's head. Is that a thing?
I've got form now. Done? Don't start with me.
You've got what, flushing form? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I got form for this nonsense, and I'll do it again. Don't think I won't, but with you.
With your face, isn't it?
Exactly.
I guess. Yeah. But I mean, fair play to you. I've never don't think I've ever accidentally dropped my phone down the toilet that bad.
That suggests that you have dropped it in the toilet.
I probably have dropped it in the toilet before, but not to like the level of like, oh, I guess I just flushed the toilet now. Oh, this is not well. This is
Okay, well, all right, hang on. That suggests that I dropped it in there and then went, now I should flush the toilet. No, the toilet was mid-flush when I dropped it.
Oh, I've never done that. I've never done that.
Yeah, you're not an idiot.
Like I am. That just sounds like something that should not happen.
That only a moron would do.
I don't want to say it, but yeah.
I don't mind you saying it. It's very true. I'm such an outrageously stupid. Like, the stress. The stress.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how you've managed that.
Shaky hands, isn't it? Shaky hands.
Is it the shaky hands that's done it?
Why, flipping, it added to the scenario.
I mean, it wasn't.
If it wasn't the cause, if it wasn't the root cause, it was at least a contributing factor.
So you think you dropped your phone down the toilet because you were shaky?
I dropped my phone down the toilet because I'm an idiot, if we're being honest about it, but there we
go. I mean, you know what? Yeah, I mean, look, I've got not much to say to that, to be fair. Yeah, fair play. I mean, I feel bad for you. But also...
That's right, got a new phone now, isn't it?
You've got a new phone, yeah, so there's not much we can... it doesn't much does it?
It's got a new phone, it's got 5 cameras on it for some reason.
It's got 5 cameras on it?
4 on the back, 1 on the front.
What the fuck?
Like a 5-door car. Don't know why, but it does.
That many fucking cameras on it? What the fuck is that?
I don't know, I think they've got different... I think they're for different purposes and different style of photography. Like one's wide angle, one's... I don't know. It's a bloody waste of time and money. But you know, we're here now. So
we are here now. You're not wrong. Yeah. So you did it. You managed. I think.
We managed. We got there.
We managed. We got there. Would you recommend your new phone to someone who was looking for a new phone? With its 5
now
cameras?
It's too early to tell. I'm enjoying it so far, but it is too early to tell.
Fair. I mean, I
well, I'll keep you updated on that situation.
That's all we ever wanted.
Just so you know, is the phone in the toilet yet? Answer so far, no. Always good.
Always good.
And then B, is it worth getting? That will answer as we go.
Excellent. Louis.
Yes.
Can you relate to Charlie? Have you ever dropped your phone in the toilet? No.
I've never dropped my phone in the toilet.
Not once.
No, not once.
Oh wow.
That's not. You act like that's a shock. No, that's a normal thing.
No, I feel like everyone's like dropped their phone in the toilet once, right?
No, I feel like that's definitely a minority.
I feel like, if anything, I'm shocked that you have.
God knows. I feel like it's a thing that people have done. Maybe I'm wrong.
It's definitely not a thing people do.
You reckon? Sure, maybe not then. Maybe we're all terrible at life. I mean, we are terrible at life, but it's different. What have you been doing this week, Louis?
Working mostly.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Nothing. No.
Playing a bit of the Destiny 2. We finished. Sam and Max on Time and Space together.
We did finish Sam and Max. That was a good time. Charlie popped in for the final stream as well.
It was a great time. I love I love the Soda Popper song already. I like the censored version even more.
Yes, the censored version is pretty amazing. So for those that don't know, Sam and Max was a game that actually we were given a code for by the developer Skunk Ape Games. It's an old school point and click adventure series. These are remakes of the Telltale versions that came out. Like I'll say like 10 years ago, a little bit longer than 10 years ago. We really enjoyed playing them. Good fun. good fun.
They're really like I played the original versions and I really loved them as well. I love Sam and Max.
Yeah, they're just great. It's great games, isn't it? It's just great games, isn't it?
Oh, Charlie's played them all.
I believe so. Yeah, he just said he has.
Yeah, I played them when they first came out originally. Back in the day. When did you say it was?
I think Sam Max was. I think this one was 2008 originally.
That sounds about right. I think the first time I ever heard of it was in I think it was in Games Master magazine, maybe.
Really?
Oh,
I sort of remember them coming. I sort of remember them being reviewed because this was obviously pre Walking Dead Telltale. And this was around the same time. Oh, what was that other? I'll get there in a sec. Hang on. The I don't know. I don't think this was when Telltale did it. The Strong Bad game that they did.
Oh yeah, and then they did the Poker Night thing with Strong Bad and.
Yeah, and like that came out, and I think it came out on Wii, and it was really well reviewed on Wii. And then the Sam and Max, they brought out on the next series of the Sam and Max one, and there was already a 2 series before that, I think.
Oh,
and
so
I was
you
like,
saw the third one, yeah.
These seem really good, and so I tried the third one. I want to say the third one might have even been an original PlayStation Plus game back in the day.
It was
years ago.
It was, yeah.
And I was like, oh, these are really good. So I ended up playing the other ones. And I just love. There's something. The writing in the Sam and Max games is really good. You did
mention that when you did mention that. I remember seeing.
I love those characters. I really do.
They're pretty great characters. I genuinely love like both Sam and Max so much.
If you like them so much, why don't you marry them, Charlie?
I would if they were real.
Fair enough then. Fair enough then. Yeah, so we played Sam and Max Beyond Time and Space Remastered. Very good. Very good. Little thing that we were doing. We'll play some more stuff. We'll play some more stuff eventually. What is it you liked about Sam and Max, Louis?
Just all of it.
All of it. It's all good. It's all. I mean,
every bit of it.
Fair play. Yeah, I mean, I can't lie. Yeah, they're good games. You do anything else? You're playing Destiny and stuff, I guess. Yeah. You played anything, Charlie, recently?
Yeah, I can't remember what. Oh, I started playing Horizon.
Zero Dawn. Okay.
In prep for the new one, because I love the idea of that game, but for some reason, the first time around, I just fallen out of love with games, and it just didn't hit me. Like I enjoyed, I heavily enjoyed some of it, but it just never stuck with me. Then I started to replay it last year, and for some reason, I bounced off it completely. I wasn't fully prepared for I can't remember when that game came out, but let's just say 2017 Ubisoft Formula game. Like, it just didn't hit me for some. Like, I was just like, I wasn't ready for this. I forgot how much of this was
2017. Yeah, you're right. 2017.
How much of it was that? How much of it was that? So I started playing it again this week. I've been playing 2 games. I've been playing that and a mobile game, which I don't really have anything to say about. But and now I'm just fully there. I'm 100% on it now. I think it's brilliant. I think it's completely brilliant.
Here's a question, and I would respect your answer to this. So I think, back in 2017,
it was the shaky hands. I dropped it into the sorry, go on.
Okay. Did you drop the thing in the toilet in 2017 as well, or is that also just?
No, this is the first time. Do you know what the other worst thing about dropping your phone into the toilet was? Right,
reaching in.
No, is that for the week before, almost weirdly, for the week before, I was looking at the toilet and going, I'm probably going to drop my phone in this at some point.
Oh, no.
And it was almost like prophetic as well as pathetic. It was.
I get you.
Impressive. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Would I enjoy Horizon Zero Dawn? Oh. I've broken it.
Would you?
I don't know. This is what I'm asking. I'm asking Charlie, does he think I would enjoy Horizon Zero Dawn?
I think you would want to like Horizon Zero Dawn more than you would like it.
Probably.
I
can
think
see that.
there's a lot that I really enjoy it, and I think the main difference between me and you is I do also enjoy the Ubisoft format of game, and this very heavily takes from that.
Okay.
It's a third person open world action adventure game, RPG elements.
Yes.
It's really good, but it does have. But the thing is, I don't think it would turn. Look, the thing is, I don't think it should turn you off the game, but I think it would turn you off the game.
You mean that
In the
the
same,
formula
I would put it in the same category as I would put Assassin's Creed Odyssey, in that I don't think the fact it's an Assassin's Creed game should put you off how incredibly good Odyssey is, but I know it would. And I think you would. I think Horizon Zero Dawn, there's a lot more for you to get into because it doesn't have the word Assassin's Creed in it, so it's not got Assassin's Creed in it. But there is mild Ubisoftness about it. But to be honest with you, the Ubisoft stuff you can sort of like the towers and stuff that you climb up and that sort of nonsense. You don't really need to interact with it, and they do it in quite a nice, cool way. But it does exist. I think there's a chance you would be super into it, but I have a feeling, like me in the first 2 times I tried it, you might bounce off it. Because I would recommend you trying it, but
because I'm looking at the Game of the Year for that year, like of the Game of the Year awards, the Game Awards stuff. Because I remember 2017 being a pretty like big year for video games. Personally, I remember Breath of the Wild
7.
Resident Evil 7 was also out that year. Yeah. Breath of the Wild was out that year, and it's like out the same bloody day as Horizon Zero Dawn, basically.
Yeah,
right?
No, it got sort of run over because
I remember playing Breath of the Wild and being like, you know what, this is cool and all, but I don't care. You know?
Why didn't you care? Let me ask that.
It felt too. I don't know if big is the word, but it felt too open and empty for me.
Okay.
Like, there are little moments of like of charm and stuff like that. I think maybe it's me associating certain things with Zelda, like the idea. My favorite Zelda game is Wind Waker, and I feel like that game is so filled with little individual bits of charm and character, and I felt Breath of the Wild didn't have those things, and also it was just a giant open world with radio towers, and I was like, oh. This isn't that interesting.
So one of the things I really like about Horizon is it feels, how do I word this? Fresh? Not in a gameplay or in a gaming sense, but the world feels fresh. Like it does feel kind of alive. I think part of that is because there's only specific pockets of humanity. Humanity isn't everywhere. It's not like when you play GTA 5 and there's just people bloody everywhere. It's the setting of the game very easily sets it up so you'll have like settlements of people because of
Breath of the Wild's quite similar. I think shockingly they're very fucking similar games.
Yeah, the fact it came out at the same time destroyed Horizon, which makes me surprised at how well Horizon ended up existing. Like Horizon's gone on to become one of the biggest PlayStation franchises, and I'm incredibly shocked by that. But I'm not, because the game is very good. But the fact it came out the fact it came out at the same time as Breath of the Wild makes me kind of shocked. But
oh no, it was a stupid decision from Sony. But also like the fact that they're both very similar games means that once you're done with Breath of the Wild, and if you have a PlayStation, you then move on and
as far as I'm aware, they were both delayed into that box, so I'm not sure. As far as from what I remember, both Breath of the Wild and Horizon were delayed at separate times, and then ended up coming out the same day. So I don't know if they had much choice in that matter. But but also I think Breath of the Wild isn't as mainstream as Horizon, which is a weird thing to say. But anyway, I think
Breath of the Wild is only as mainstream as Horizon because of its name, Zelda.
But I think it's not. But I would say
I think more people know Zelda Breath of the Wild than they know Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, I would push on Breath of the Wild. They would know more people know Zelda, obviously, but I don't know about Breath of the Wild. Anyway, the point is, because it was also this, you were also talking about a pre-Switch. This is Switch.
Yeah, it came out on it was launched. No, it was launch day.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
it
struggling
launched
at that
with
point.
Breath of the... It wasn't struggling. It launched on that day.
Switch did not hit. Switch did not become the juggernaut it was until slightly later on. But anyway, the point is, Horizon feels really fresh. Like the world, the story of Horizon, of it being it's post-apocalyptic, but it's almost post the apocalypse. The apocalypse happened so long ago that people don't even remember the apocalypse. Like there aren't people who are sitting there, and it's not like Fallout where like you have like people from the apocalypse walking around who are just ghouls now or whatever. No, like this is like the world is so far removed from it that you go around and you do see like what you do see sort of remnants of what you could tell was once a city in our time. But this is so far into the future that it's all gone and crumbled, and you see bits of it, but the actual world itself, like you see these settlements of people that exist, but it's not like Fallout where you go to Megaton and they've built it out of airplane parts. No, they've built it out of trees and wood, and it's full on like that kind of style of existence, right? So it lends itself to this idea of like there's basically no one in the wilds. Everyone lives in their encampments, and the story of there's these machine animals that are sort of getting so part of the story is that there's machine animals that just exist. They've always just existed, right? And they're just part of the ecology. You hunt them as hunters to use their scrap for parts for stuff in the camps and everything else. Like that's just part of the world. But over the last 10 years, every year they've got more and more aggressive and more angry out of nowhere for no reason. Part of it is about figuring out why that is and what's going on here. But again, it's this idea of like, well, the world outside of these camps is it's nature's. There is no reason for people, like you go out and you would hunt in it, but there's not people just living about. There's not just people about. And one of the things I really like, and it's the only game that I can compare it to that comes, and I think what I'm about to say, the game I'm about to mention does it better, to be fair, but Skyrim. When you walk through fields in Skyrim and there's just animals dotted about, and it has this feeling of just airiness of actual sort of like countryside almost. It feels so fresh because it is just, I don't know, there's something about it. Like you see the ecology almost. You see like animals and then these machine animals, but just sort of living. The machine animals, they might be a herd of them that are sort of designed a bit like cows, and they're just grazing. And then you look the other way, and there's just actual real life fucking boars or whatever just running about, and you're going about in there, and it just feels so nice. I don't know. It's really struck me this time. And the first time I liked that fact, but because I bounced off the game and I was sort of out of love with games, I wasn't super vibing it. But I just didn't hit. Whereas now I'm like fully invested in every part of it. And I'm like, okay, I'm really here for this now. And if I didn't have so much work right now, I'd be a lot deeper into the game than I should be. But yeah, I've been playing it to sort of get ready for the new one, which comes out in February. Which comes out, I think, 22nd or something like that. It's basically just after I finish the Olympics. So I sort of wanted to finish this one before the next one comes out, because my girlfriend has ordered the second one because she really loved the first one. So she ordered the second one, and so I sort of want to finish it so I can play it as well. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think you would want to like it maybe more than you did. I think potentially some of the Ubisofty stuff would turn you off. I don't think it should, but I also know that we probably have no choice and that it probably would.
I mean, I bounce off Zelda, and I love Zelda, so like it's like that whole it's.
Yeah, I wish I had played Breath of the Wild so I could tell you how much more alive the world feels.
Oh, I can imagine.
Whichever one it is.
Just you mentioning,
I believe it does.
Just that you mentioning is like Skyrim and stuff. I understand, like, because Breath of the Wild doesn't have like wildlife. I don't think.
Yeah.
Not really. Like there are bits and pieces scattered around, but it doesn't really have wildlife. It has Link, and then monsters, and then little towns scattered about. I find it really interesting you talk about like the post-apocalyptic thing, because like I feel like Horizon, Zelda, and another game released in 2017, Nier Automata, they're all kind of like in that setting, and they all did incredibly well. I think it's very interesting that 2017 was just like, hey, do you like post-apocalyptic weird things? Hey, do you want to?
Yeah, I think there was almost a sort of a rebound from post-apocalypse. We've had the zombie thing, we've had all of that, we've had Fallout, which even though Fallout is so far away from the apocalypse itself, it's still very alive and fresh within that world.
Especially Fallout 4, the most recent one, where it's like you witness the apocalypse and then like all the stuff happens in between. Like Fallout 3 and New Vegas, particularly New Vegas, you can kind of say is so far removed from the apocalypse that it doesn't really have an impact on anything. But Fallout 4 is about the apocalypse, right?
Thing is with New Vegas, right? What's interesting with New Vegas is that because of mainly because of Mr. House's missile defense system, so like no bombs actually hit the city or the surrounding areas in which you play the game. They're just affected by all the radiation, and obviously all the crumbling of the buildings is just purely erosion over time. But there's a point in that game where there's trees and stuff, like actual trees that grow.
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
In New Vegas, there's wildlife. There's lots of it.
You're not wrong. It's the same to some degrees with Nier Automata as well, which is, I guess, the game of those three that I really I guess connected with. Even though I would say it's also similar in that it's like the big open world kind of thing with, not radio towers, but other stuff. But still, yeah, I don't know. I just found it really interesting just looking at those three games like next to each other and going, I guess we had this big moment in 2017, like early 2017 as well, where we went, let's just make these open world games that have very similar settings and similar control schemes and similar layouts and only like little differences, like Zelda is a Zelda game and Horizon Zero Dawn is much more, I'd say, probably narratively focused than Zelda and focuses on the sort of animal,
it's also,
robotic wildlife stuff, and Nier Automata is far more
and like Horizon is also an RPG, so you're going around, you're collecting quests, you're talking to people with like sort of semi-conversation trees, a bit like not full on Mass Effect, but you're still getting some of that. Like it is very much an RPG as well. Like I find Horizon really interesting because it's obvious. It was obviously the first. I say obviously, it was the first game that Guerrilla made that wasn't Killzone,
Yeah.
and like when you think about the different, well, at least for a long time, obviously they made stuff before Killzone, but it's really interesting to me how different. Like obviously it's incredibly different. They went from a very well established first person shooter track where you are doing a story in the first person shooter, right? So you're going through very linear levels. You're going from great grand old time, right? To going to this incredibly big, not incredibly big, but big open world where it's very much an RPG. The mission structure similar to however you would want to say it, a Skyrim, for example, where you just go around and you just find missions when you're going from place to place and you just do them however you want, whenever you want, sort of thing. And I find it interesting that they made that jump, because it's such a weird jump to make, and
I mean, it is,
and not only that, they nailed it. like I almost would have been less shocked if they tried to make that jump and then fell on their ass. But for them to make that jump and then, actually no, they stuck it with an excellent game. Like how? Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, it does feel, the conversation we were having last time, Adam, about the idea of like enjoying TV shows and stuff like that when they're a bit rough, when they're still finding their feet.
Yeah,
it's finding its feet. Like Aloy, the main character, Aloy, controls really loosely. Like the way she runs feels really light, and I think part of that maybe helps the sort of airy, fresh feel of the world, because it's similar to You know how when you play an Assassin's Creed, you don't play Assassin's Creed, but when you play an Assassin's Creed game that isn't Odyssey or or Origins,
I've played
probably, but
some
I did.
Assassin's Creed games.
You know how you have to hold like 8 buttons to do anything? Do you know what I mean? How you're like, okay, I want to run and jump over that thing, and it's like, right. So what you do is you run, and then you hold L2 to activate a whole bunch of different parts of buttons, and they have all of these like weird controls. It's completely the opposite of that. Like you just run, and then if something is sort of in your way, you just sort of hello. If something is in your way, you just sort of bounce over them. Aloy just automatically moves. If there is a path to climb up, she will just climb up. You don't have to press X to jump or climb or anything. She just goes whoop, 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 whoop. She just does it. And it feels, and that's like really nice. But also when you're on the ground, she controls really loosely. Not loose. Maybe loose isn't the word, but really, it's really light. Like you touch it and she just sort of darts in one direction and she stops and then she darts in one. And like when you're in a fight with machines, you don't feel it. Once you're in that world, when you're hunting machine or whatever, you never ever feel it. You never think about it again. But I find it interesting that there is this sort of light feel to the character that makes it feel like this is a team who hasn't developed this kind of game before.
Okay.
Because in a first-person shooter, you probably are very light. You probably are darting around, but because you're in first person, you're not really thinking about it. And I know it was made in the same engine, so I suspect it's probably just a holdover from that. But it is really interesting to me that like there are these little bits where you just look at it and you go, oh, they are still trying to figure this out. And I'm intrigued as to how they stick the landing with Forbidden West, which comes out, like I say, in February.
True, yeah. Like all hopes are that it just improves from there, right? Like it just gets better, you know, and like that's incredible. If they manage to stick the landing on the first one and then make the second one just that much better, crazy, right?
I have no fear that they won't. And this has become, like I say, I'm shocked, given the fact that you know it released the same day as Breath of the Wild, given the fact that to some extent it was made by the studio who made Killzone, to some extent it has a female protagonist. Like these are all things where I was just like, this game looks really good, and I played it and I really enjoy it. I'm really enjoying it now. But I'm shocked it has turned into such a big deal for Sony. And I'm
to some degree,
it's one of their biggest franchises now.
Yeah, no, I'm not. It's not that I'm just not
put,
as shocked as you are, is what I mean. Not that it's not big.
I mean, but they I guess what I'm saying is like they're putting everything into this. And Forbidden West is very much one of their headline titles for the PS5 right now.
Yeah.
And given the way Sony's studios, Sony Interactive, have gone in this sort of
it wouldn't be surprising if Sony like didn't just scrap it at that point, because you know they're kind of like focusing on the whole like The Last of Us, like basically everything that's already a massive title already, or a massive studio already, aren't they? At that point, they're sort of going, fuck everything that's not already massive.
They've decided like they're going down this path of like sort of the Marvel route, right? Where they want big fucking tentpole things. They're not interested in like, you know how Microsoft is. They're like, oh, we'll have Psychonauts 2, we'll have this, we'll have... No, we want the biggest fucking hitters. We want big swings coming through. I'm almost shocked that they did go for a Horizon. I'm not shocked in a sense, because Horizon did very well, and like I say, it's done really well. And Aloy is a very cool character. Like A, they nailed it with Ashley Birch, but B, like it's just she's a really cool character. Story is cool. The world is really cool. And then on a poster, here's a giant fucking robot dinosaur. Like it's cool, right?
When you pick robot dinosaurs as your setting, it's you don't go too far. Like, I think that
this
is why I'm not so surprised, is that like that it's such a big deal, is that it ticks off so many boxes as an IP in terms of like what people like. Of thing. Like it just, especially for 2017 as well. Like I'm not talking about the Ubisoft, like even the Ubisoft formula was still big then, wasn't it? People weren't like, oh fuck Ubisoft at that point. It was just like at the tail end of that being massive. That's why the Zelda stuff happened as well, and why there's all sorts of games like that. But I think it just like you say, you get a poster with giant robot dinosaurs in there, and you're just like, okay, Like half of the public are already in love with that game.
Yeah, and they should be, and they like. I can't like I probably shouldn't talk about Horizon without at least saying once, "Yo, the giant robot dinosaurs are real fucking cool." Like they just are, man.
Yeah.
Like the robot ecology, however you want to word it, the different robot animals you come across are all pretty cool, and like the fact you can scan them and like see where their weak points are, and like they each have different things, and then there's different versions, and all of this stuff is cool. But like there is something to be said when you're like in a boss fight with this giant fucking robot chicken thing that's spewing fire at you, and you're just like, do you know what? This is quite cool. like they just are cool. Like the box art in my head, which is just like you've probably seen it, Adam, if you're on Wikipedia or whatever you're on at the moment, you've probably seen it, which is just Aloy and a giant fucking robot dinosaur.
Yeah,
There's a reason.
it's not,
They are cool. They just are cool. They've also kept one thing from Killzone, and it's the smartest thing they could have kept from Killzone, and that's glowy eyes. Killzone had the sort of Helghast, who were the baddies in Killzone, had red glowy eyes, which was always quite cool. And they've kept that here because the robots have glowy eyes, but this time there's actually robotics going on, so obviously they have
obviously
glowy
they have
stuff.
glowy eyes. Yeah, makes sense. Right?
And it's nice. And what I like is you have like there's these one called Watchers, which are kind of they're almost chocobo-esque kind of creatures. You're talking about a sort of they've got one long neck and one head. They've got one eye and head, and they're sort of a chocobo shape, so a giant bird type thing, kind of like an ostrich, if you want to talk about.
Yeah, I would say like it's an ostrich or an emu sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And they have these glowy blue eyes when they look for stuff, and when they see you, they turn red or whatever. But I love when you're going through the world at night, and you just see like a sort of pack of them or a herd of them, and you can just sort of see through the trees their glowy blue eyes sort of scanning out into the distance. You just hear the little scanning noise, and you're like, I'm just like, oh, it's just cool, man. It's just cool. Like I shouldn't talk about it without just saying that is cool. And like I've seen some of the I've not watched too much of the new one because I'm at the mode where I'm like I'm getting it anyway, so I won't watch anything for spoilers' sake. But you know, they have focused on big cool machines for a reason because they are cool, man.
I think I need to take a moment out to mention how much of a banger year 2017 was in general, and how influential that year has been in video games. I think, and how I like some of these video games are still games that we still talk about today. And I don't mean necessarily us, but I mean like the whole of video games. So like
7.
Zelda Breath of the Wild, massive. Horizon Zero Dawn, massive, still talked about. Persona 5 was also out that year. PUBG was out that year. Like
did PUBG come out in 2017?
That's when it released, I believe. Like I think it was on early access since before then, but its release was December 2017. Mario Odyssey was out that year.
I was going to say, didn't Odyssey come out that year?
Mario Odyssey, Resident Evil 7, as you've mentioned, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, Nier Automata, as I've mentioned, Destiny 2 came out that year, Cuphead came out that year. Like, nice. My God, and I'm still going out. Night in the Woods came out there that year. What Remains of Edith Finch came out that year. Like, fuck me. Like, it's legitimately, like, actually insane how many incredible games came out that year. Neo came out that year. Prey came out that year. You know, like, fucking...
Big up the 2017 Mandem.
2017 is crazy. Final Fantasy 15.
2K17 Mandem.
South Park, The Fractured Butthole. I mean... not as big. Sonic Mania came out that fucking year. Jesus Christ, Sonic Mania came out that year. Wasn't even nominated.
In 2017.
Yeah, Fractured Butthole.
Really?
Fractured Butthole, 2017. Golf Story. Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight came out that year.
No, surely Hollow Knight.
Slime Rancher. Fortnite. Fortnite also was released that year. Fuck me.
No, Fortnite was not. Oh, was that saved? Not saved.
The original release of Fortnite.
The original Fortnite. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, Fortnite didn't come out that year.
Not Fortnite as it is now, but yeah, Fortnite.
Not the Fortnite that matters. Okay.
Yeah. But Fortnite in its base form came out that year. Like, fuck me. there's just Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Charlie.
Oh, well, it's the best year of all time.
I'm just like, legit, 2017's actually an absurd year for video games, right? Like, all of these games are massive. Like, there's only 5 places in the Game of the Year category. And you could literally rotate any of those, like, all of those 5, and add another different 5, and it'd still be an incredibly valid list. Like,
Yeah.
People complaining about PUBG, people complaining about Fortnite, right? Because it's like, oh, they just changed the original game to make it be just to copy PUBG because that was popular. Yeah, but let's be honest, like Fortnite doesn't look like a game that was made in 2004.
I mean, to be fair, it does have the whole backing of Epic Games behind it, which is, slightly.
Well, you say that like that was a big deal at the beginning when it wasn't. To be fair, Epic Games is only a big deal now that Fortnite has happened.
No, Epic Games is already always a big deal. I had like Gears of War and shit behind it, right? They're not saying they're as big as they were, but they're still.
Yeah, but they weren't big. They weren't really big enough to be like their own publisher. For the most part, they were just
the
like
Unreal Engine.
They were.
Yeah, but the Unreal Engine wasn't a big deal until Unreal 4, really.
Yeah,
well, I'm not saying it was a small deal, but it wasn't like now Unreal is like fucking monumental.
It's unreal.
Yeah, but back then, like Unreal 3, for example, like what it was like Unreal Tournament, and that's it. Like as the industry has shifted towards singular engines, like you have to imagine back in the day, lots of games had their own proprietary. Fucking Horizon was made on Decima. Like they made Decima to build Horizon, which then Kojima ended up using for Death Stranding and whatnot. But like most games had their own engines. Like it was only really
most games did, yeah. But
it's only in the last 5 years when Unreal has become.
Epic Games weren't like the tiny. They're not like tiny.
No, I'm not saying they were small, but
the Gears of War games. The Gears of War games in themselves were big enough.
But that's like saying, I know. I'm not saying they were small. I'm just saying like. It was the equivalent of like any other sort of AA level developer, maybe a bit higher than that. AAA developer.
Gears of War was like the second biggest game on Xbox for a long time.
Halo.
Yeah, second biggest. Unless you count Forza.
There's no. And FIFA.
To be fair, like I honestly don't think Gears of War was like it wasn't like a heavy hitter. I'd say like it's
what. I think so many people bought that, like the Xbox 360, just for Gears of War. I mean, maybe not, but I think so many people.
I think they ended up.
How many people then like bought its sequel?
Loads of people bought Gears of War 2. I think the first 3 Gears of War games were insanely popular.
Though I will admit, Gears of War 2, I think, best in the series.
Like, it was only after Gears of War 3 that people started, like, not being interested in that franchise, and their Gears of War Judgment, right?
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I think people got a bit bored of it, but I think 1, 2, and 3 were insanely popular on the 360. Like, they were up there with Halo. They weren't as big as Halo, but they were up there.
I played Judgment. It was straight up a bad game.
Really? I've not played it, so I can't say shit. But and then like Bulletstorm, I know they didn't develop it, but they published it. Was also pretty big, and like the Unreal games also pretty big.
They were big back. They weren't. Yeah, they were AAA. AA was definitely wrong of me, but they like Unreal wasn't as big a deal as until Unreal 4 was when it started to happen, and before then, like that's not to say Epic weren't a AAA publisher, a AAA developer. They definitely were. But Fortnite has put them in a completely different stratosphere.
It has.
Before that, they were just like another Xbox AAA studio. They weren't anything notable or big.
Like most of the games. Like even like for as far as Epic Games go, like they used to have Microsoft Studios in like their in like their opening.
Yeah, it was. I always thought. To be honest with you, I always thought that they were owned by Microsoft.
I also did as well.
Up until what was the one you literally just named, Adam? Bulletstorm.
Oh, Bulletstorm.
Up until Bulletstorm, I was like, hang on, are they not owned by Microsoft? What are you talking about? I thought they were owned by Microsoft, but that's because
Gears of War, right?
Yeah.
Considering. Go on, Charlie.
No, I was gonna say because when I was younger, I didn't give two hoots about fucking Unreal Tournament.
No,
So
of course not.
because like I was too young to give a crap, so I didn't think about it at all. So I just the first I knew of Epic was when they were doing Gears of War, and I was like, oh, they just must be owned by Microsoft because Gears of War. It made no sense to me that they wouldn't be.
And Gears of War was so synonymous with that console as well. Like it just was like.
And I want to say, yeah, and I want to say as well, because they had Bulletstorm and what was the game called?
Complex.
Yeah, I think that was exclusive to Xbox for a while, but
That was yeah.
It was a game they released on iPhone.
Infinity Blade.
Yes, Infinity Blade. Infinity Blade and Bulletstorm, I think, were really close to each other, and that's when I realized they weren't owned by Microsoft. Because why would they release this game?
Infinity Blade was December 2010, and Bulletstorm was February 2011.
There you go. But yeah, so but now Epic are huge. Now Epic are ungodly big. But back then, they were just another developer. It wasn't
sure.
If Microsoft didn't own them before, they fucking want to now. Let's be real.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there.
They are becoming the Disney of video games, man.
I guess.
What happens? What happens when Disney decides it wants to try and buy Microsoft?
The world implodes,
or vice versa. Does Disney then officially own 51% of the world and then has
the American government will step in when it becomes too much, right? That's what the laws are there to stop that being too much, right?
Yeah, whether or not they step in is another question, but yes.
But it becomes a legal decision if
in theory it does become a legal
maybe decision. Because I don't know about Disney and Microsoft, because obviously Microsoft and Disney aren't competitors. Let's say if Disney tries to buy Warner Brothers, that's when the law steps in. But with Microsoft, I actually don't have a clue, because they're not in competition with each other. It's not like Disney buying a bunch of movie studios.
How long until Disney can buy America?
Disney probably could already buy America.
No way.
I don't know.
Disney's probably making more money than America is.
Disney's definitely.
Like, America is big in debt, but then again, all countries are in debt to some extent. But
yeah.
I mean,
Disney in 2021 generated a total revenue of $67.4 billion US. That's just a revenue of 1 year.
Yeah. But
it says it held assets of $203.61 billion.
How much money did America make?
I'm gonna Google how much money does America have.
How much money does America make per annum?
Okay, I mean, this is fair. America has assets of $269.6 trillion, so it's not.
Yeah, but they've also got a lot of debt. You know what I mean? It's like when a football club is going out of business, so they sell it to for £1. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, you just deal with the debt. I don't want to deal with it anymore.
I mean, that's what Microsoft did with that division, right? Not with debt, but with their reputation.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck it, let's just take them. They're worth nothing now due to the reputation. Let's do it.
A little bit.
Let's fill them in.
Let's fill them in. We were talking about big open world action games. The new Pokemon game came out the other day. Pokemon
another game that looks like it's fucking empty.
It does look like it's fucking empty. I was so surprised when I was seeing all of these people asking what starter you want to start with in the new Pokemon game. Because instead of having new starters, they've just grouped some old starter Pokemon together, just randomly. I didn't realize everyone likes Cyndaquil.
Isn't it 3 random starters from 3 generations as well?
One random starter from each a random generation, I guess.
Yeah, so it's not like Bulbasaur, Charmander, and thingy. It's 3.
It's, Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott.
There we go. So what nonsense, bro.
I don't remember which gen Oshawott's in, actually, to be fair.
5.
There we go. Louis is the resident Pokemon expert.
Yeah, you're talking to Louis. We can get that answer on hand. Yeah. We can get that. We have Louis next to us. Why are we asking? Just say the words. You'll get the answer.
I'm so surprised so many people because I really like Rowlet. I know Charlie doesn't know what a Rowlet is, but I showed him a picture of it. It's the little ball owl with a bow tie.
Oh yeah.
I think Rowlet's kind of a cute Pokemon.
He is like my favorite starter. But I'm surprised so many people like Cyndaquil, which is the little like sausage dog that's on fire.
He's a dog that's on fire, bro. What is there not to like?
A dog.
What is he then? A
Yeah,
hedgehog?
come on, in, Ash Ketchum. Come on,
I'm
in,
thinking
Professor
about
Oak.
the
What is he then?
quill. So the quill stuff, is he a hedgehog then?
No, he's meant to be like a fiery porcupine.
A porcupine? I guess
Alright,
so.
well, the dog fire thing, right? I just got
It's a porcupine, but its needles are fire instead of needles.
He's cool. He's nice.
He's alright. What's Oshawott? It's an otter. So you've got an otter, an owl, and a porcupine. I didn't realise that many people liked the porcupine that much.
Yeah, but you also have to remember he's fire type, and everyone fucking loves.
Everyone does love the fire type.
You have two reactions to fire types. You either fucking love them or you fucking hate them.
I don't think anyone hates any of the fire types, right?
I know people. All right, maybe not.
Other than
hate,
Charizard, because everyone hates his popularity. But other than Charizard,
that's what I should say. Hate the popularity of fire types is what I should say.
I think it's
Specifically the
Charizard.
fire starters. Specifically the fire starters.
The ones that are that big
Prodigy.
as well. When I saw Firestar, I was like, oh, God, the Prodigy. I only think the ones that are disliked are Charizard and Blaziken. And I think that's because they're, like, insanely popular. So everyone's like, oh, I don't like them because they're too popular.
Cyndaquil's great, man. Cyndaquil's cool.
He's alright.
Like, I like Cyndaquil more than I like what Cyndaquil evolves into. I like the name Typhlosion, but apart from that, I can't be asked with it. Like, but Cyndaquil as a thing, yeah, I'm here for Cyndaquil, but I don't like what it evolves into. But then again, a lot of the Pokemon evolution.
I'm looking at the Oshawott stuff, and I'm like, I hate what that evolves into.
Doesn't Rowlet? Correct me if I'm wrong, because after you showed it to me, I feel like I looked this up, and I feel like I remember it evolving into looking like one of the weird owl bird things you meet at the beginning of Wind Waker.
Yeah.
See, I'm down for that.
Well, I don't know what because I think they've got new ones for the region that they're in, but he's basically like Rowlet essentially evolves into that owl, but it's also Robin Hood. It's also Robin Hood, so like fuck it, it's cool. I think the new one's like more of a sort of samurai archer thing, but whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I like Rowlet. It's just a little ball bird. He's cool. And yeah, a lot of people don't seem to like Rowlet as much. I'm like,
They're wrong.
You're wrong.
But Rowlet's also is Rowlet grass type.
He is grass, yes.
That's the problem here.
People don't like grass types either. I know.
People are very low on grass types, but that's because it's weak to fire and people like fire.
You know what I found very funny? I was watching the Games Done Quick is a AGDQ.
Yeah.
And one of them, they were doing a race of Pokemon Gold and Silver, Pokemon Crystal, I think it was. And there's a guy, he's quite a famous Pokemon speedrunner called Shenanigans there. And he just said, oh, Bulbasaur was shit.
He's shit.
It's like Bulbasaur's shit. But he was saying it in like a speedrunning perspective, because apparently, so like Squirtle, when you speedrun the original Pokemon games, Squirtle's like an hour something, Charmander's an hour something, and then Bulbasaur's like 2 hours, which is crazy. It's like an hour ahead. You can do basically Squirtle and Charmander if you in the space of time that it takes to do Bulbasaur. So he's like, Bulbasaur's shit, and then everyone was going mad at him. They were like, what do you mean Bulbasaur's shit? Bulbasaur's great. We fucking love Bulbasaur. What do you mean? So they
great.
I like Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur's cool, but I mean,
I like Bulbasaur. I like Ivysaur. I like Venusaur.
So
they're simple, man.
They on the spot created a goal for a donation goal for Shenanigans to write a written apology to Bulbasaur for saying that Bulbasaur is trash. It was great. They were just like, he was like, no, Bulbasaur is trash. I'm not going to apologize. Bulbasaur is trash. Chikorita's worse. It says Chikorita's even worse. Nobody likes Chikorita. He did in the end have to write a written apology to Bulbasaur because they beat him. They got the full donation to that before he could finish the game. So he had to write a full written apology to Bulbasaur. Starts off with Dearest Bulbasaur.
I like the grass types, man.
I'm always a big fan of the grass types. I know a lot of people aren't, but I just like them.
I will say, Generation 3, the correct answer is Mudkip, but
Mudkip
outside, yeah, but only I'll be honest with you, yeah, it's Mudkip. I don't like Mudkip as the first evolution, but the third evolution is better than the other two third evolutions.
He's the ground water thing, right?
Yeah, I can't remember what he's called. Marshtomp. Marshtomp. I like Marshtomp more than I like.
I'll be honest, I like all three of them.
Blaziken or Sceptile.
I like all three of them. I always chose Sceptile because
Blaziken looks stupid.
He's a chicken that beats people over the head with his legs.
He doesn't even look like a chicken.
Yeah, but I'm kind of here for that. Do you know what I mean? A chicken that's on fire.
Is a chicken on fire. I like that.
Fire chicken.
He's called Torchic. But what's the other one? The other one's like
Torchic. It evolves into Sceptile. I can't remember what it starts.
Doesn't evolve into Sceptile. That's
Trico.
Trico.
There we go. Yeah.
No, what's the evolution of Torchic?
Does
it just sound like he's on fire?
I also can't remember.
Combusken.
Yeah, Combusken. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's just a combusting chicken. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, and then you have Trico, Grovyle,
Trico, Grovyle,
or is it Sceptile, Grovyle?
Sceptile's the last one, I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I don't like Sceptile's goofy. I don't like. I don't. It's. Look at his face, bro.
I mean, fair. He is a bit goofy face-wise.
Marshtomp is Swampert is the last one, not Marsh. Sorry.
It's Swampert.
Sorry, it goes Swampert. Swampert's the best out of the three third evolutions, in my opinion.
So I thought I'd ask you guys. I mean, we already know my answer is Rowlet, but do you choose Rowlet, Cyndaquil, or Oshawott?
Oh, Rowlet. Rowlet's the one we're talking about, right?
The little bird with the bow tie. Yeah, owl with the bow tie.
Yeah, there's no other. I love Cyndaquil, but again, they're going to evolve at some point, so it has to be bow tie owl.
Cool.
It has the bow tie owl to Wind Waker owl being transformation must be complete.
Fair.
I choose Oshawott.
Oshawott? What is it about Oshawott that you like?
It's an otter, it's blue, and it's cute.
It is pretty cute, to be fair. It is pretty
respectable.
Cute. And he is blue, and he is an otter. So all of those things you said are correct.
Congratulations on your correct statements.
Well done.
Big plays.
I was just really surprised that the Twitter polls that I was seeing put Cyndaquil so far ahead. Like
fire type, man. People bloody love fire types.
Maybe it is the fire type.
I'm saying this is a fact.
I mean, you are saying it as a fact, yeah.
I'm saying it as a fact. It's just something that has always seemed true to me.
That the fire type is it.
People just bloody love the fire types, man.
They do. They do love the fire types.
They just bloody love the fire types. They're just very here for it.
They just bloody like.
And fair enough. Types. Look, if you have you're wrong because flying type is clearly the best type of Pokemon, but we move.
See, I agree, and I don't think many people would agree with us that flying type is the best type.
I'm just here for it.
I agree. I agree. I think flying type's my favorite type. The fact that this is a flying type and a grass type in one. He's not, but he looks like he is a flying type. Pidgeotto,
Pidgeot. The best Pokemons.
They are good. I like
the best of all the Pokemons.
I do enjoy those ones. I do.
Nothing will beat that time I evolved the Pidgey into the Pidgeotto and my mind was blown. What a moment in life that was. I was outside an art shop in 2004 or whenever it was.
You're outside an art shop?
Yeah. My mum was in there buying art supplies, and I was outside because I didn't want to go in because I wanted to just play Pokemon on my Game Boy.
Sounds good.
Good day. Good day.
We enjoy.
Good day.
Anyway, I think that's probably all we've got for today. Probably. Unless there's anything else anyone wants to speak.
Has any monumentally large gaming news that we missed last time happened?
I was looking for it, but I couldn't find it.
Have Microsoft bought another company yet? Has that happened?
Don't think so.
Okay, fair enough.
Don't think that happened, no.
Oh, sorry, legally.
They wanted to buy out Sony.
Oh, no.
I'm pretty sure there is a law against that.
Yes. The monopoly laws. Yeah,
Well,
no, I don't think there's anything particularly big that's happening in video games.
I'm pretty
this
sure
year.
the monopoly laws are there to stop a company from owning the world, right?
Yes.
yeah, but again,
You don't trust. You don't trust.
Russia's
the
trying to
monopolies.
invade Ukraine. The US have got bigger things to worry about at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
I mean,
We've
you're
seen
not
that.
wrong. You're not
So,
wrong.
so Microsoft, your time is now if you want to try and
Yeah,
sneak
now's
in.
the time. Yeah, while they're distracted,
While they're
just go
distracted by Russia and Ukraine, go buy
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Go in under the radar quickly.
Go.
Why does Russia want to? Why does Russia just want to attack things, man? I hate it.
It's a good question.
Yeah. I'm going to take a
It's a
strong
good
stance. Ready?
question. Go on.
Yeah, Russia.
Yeah, Russia. Why did you? This is the fuck you Bush from Peep Show.
Yeah. Why you got to do this, Bush?
Why did you try and take over Iraq, Bush?
Bush.
You knew there weren't weapons of mass destruction there, Bush. Fuck you, Bush. I like how the first and the last line are the same.
Uh,
Oh, dear. Right, that's fucking podcast for today, fuck's sake. Thank you very much, everyone who came by. We're trying to make our sort of YouTube our new home a little bit, I think. So look forward to getting some more interesting stuff on YouTube, including our streams and some other videos that we do have in the planning at the very least, not necessarily in the making. Because we're going to do more on this channel here. So if you haven't already subscribed to us on YouTube and you are kind of seeing this, try and do it. Or you could just do it. I don't know why I said try.
Listen, Adam. I
Remember
know
to
you're
subscribe.
Adam. You're not. Adam's not a seasoned YouTuber like
No,
me.
you are the
And
YouTube man.
So what I do, right? Adam,
Like,
is
comment, subscribe.
I have an autopilot thing. This is what I like, right? So at the end of my
Go
videos,
on.
sometimes halfway through, sometimes at the beginning, vibe it, right?
Mm.
I just have the exact same thing I say. I just go into autopilot.
What's this?
So I'm just like, while you're down there, just make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're around here and you've enjoyed it. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of the further uploads that are happening because there's loads of stuff coming up. Just say stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? I just go on autopilot. I don't even know what I'm saying. I just say it.
It's fair.
You know,
That's fair.
that way you just get through it all quickly, and the people you say it, and then you move on with your life.
I mean, yeah, it's not, yeah, it's fair.
We'll get there.
We will.
We'll get there. We'll find whatever that version
We will.
is for us.
I agree. Eventually we will. I don't know what that is. It'll appear.
96% of our YouTube viewers are currently not. I fucking hate that. Stop doing that. Stop telling people how much of your view base. People will subscribe if they want to, okay? Fucking Jesus Christ.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I hate that so much.
You know, it's just another way to tell you to subscribe, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's saying, hey, do you like this content? Well, statistically, you're not subscribed.
Yeah. I mean, we probably
Oh,
we probably have a really high percentage.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, we probably have a disgustingly low percentage. The chances are everyone who watches this is subscribed,
It's 100%.
which is bad.
Yeah, it's 100% because it's just me.
Like you want, like realistically, you want as few people subscribe to watch it, but like you want that number to be really high. Like that's the goal here, is to have a really high figure. That way, you know you're reaching people who aren't subscribed.
Exactly.
Whereas if you're only reaching people who are subscribed, then there's that's good, but you're not growing.
Oh, I've got the watch time. 66% of you are not subscribed. So if you do like our work, subscribe, like, click the bell, and do the stuff.
Yeah, well better.
I'll just
Not
do it.
good.
I'll just do it really
Chill,
aggressively and see what the fuck
chill.
happens.
Chill, promote, chill.
I'll just be really aggressive about it, and hopefully it works.
It was good. Do the stuff isn't a great call to action.
Do the stuff's an incredible call to action because it makes them think about their lives and do the stuff.
No, but the problem is you need to specify.
Not a call to
You need
action for our channel. It's a call
you
to
need
action for you as a human being So go and do the stuff in your life.
But the problem is you've got to tell the people what to do. You can't. The call to action can't be and do.
I'm not their god. They can do whatever it is they want. I don't want to control them.
You don't know. I don't know, Adam. You got to tell them what to do. You can't. You can't just say do the stuff. Like,
Do the stuff.
And honestly, the aggression factor, I'm quite here for. But the difficult when you say do the stuff, it needs to be very precise. You know, you have to really tell them. You can't tell
but
people
then
to do...
I feel like I'm responsible for their actions then, and if they go out and murder a person, I feel like that's on me.
Yeah, but Adam, you don't. But that's the risk of being a YouTuber. Adam.
That's the risk of being a YouTuber.
If someone dies under your watch, look. If anything, that's good content.
I mean,
make
you're
a
not
video
wrong.
about it.
You're not
you
wrong.
Make a video about
the
it.
clickbait's there, right?
Clickbait is it's beautiful.
Fuck it.
I should say, don't kill anyone if you're listening to this.
Please don't. Yeah.
I don't want it. No one wants it. You don't want that. It's a lot of effort, and it brings up a lot of paperwork that you don't want to do.
I wouldn't mind.
Oh no. What wouldn't you mind, Louis?
You are allowed to kill people on my behalf.
No.
Jesus.
I did a very quickly before we go. I was doing a show this morning. Well, I woke up at 7. There's a channel called West Ham Random. Shout out to Peach, you absolute lunatic, right? Who lives in Canada and he's like 6 to 7 hour long streams.
Oh damn!
And he does like 2 or 3 a day. He just
That's
does it,
long
right?
as fuck.
Peach is a very special human being. He just goes for it, and I respect it. But and he'll just have anyone on, just randomly join and just have conversations, right? And so when I woke up this morning, he'd been on for like 4 hours, and I jumped on and we were having a conversation. But Peach lives in Canada, so it was like 7 o'clock in the morning here. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning there, or whatever it was getting. It was probably a bit later than 7 actually here. It was like, I know it was 4 o'clock his time. It was probably more like 9 or something else. But anyway, he just kept for some reason downing hot sauce.
Oh no!
I was like, can you please stop downing hot sauce? And then he was like, yeah. And then like someone else would go on, do it, and then he would do it. And I was trying desperately to stop it. And this reminds me of that. No one kill anyone. All right. I, as the influential adult in the room, and I'm saying that to wish it into existence more than anything, do not want anyone to kill anyone on either my, Adam, or Louis' behalf, no matter what Louis says. Do not, I repeat this, do not do an murder.
Don't, yeah. At least try not to. If you've got the defense of like, I tried not to, then that's probably okay.
I will release my hit list tomorrow for anyone who's interested.
No.
Right, before we get actually banned on YouTube on our first podcast stream here, thank you very much everyone who came by.
Right, we'll just go back to the superior platform.
Go back to the superior platform, yeah, at least we get fucking paid for that. Whatever.
Yeah, we've actually been paid from Twitch.
Yeah, YouTube, fucking come on,
That's
man.
actually, yeah, that is true. That is true.
Come on, you bastards. YouTube, give us some money and then we'll be
I
fine.
got 100k views on a YouTube video. Do you know what I got from that, Charlie?
That's zilch. Nada, mate.
Yeah.
Big old
Nada, mate. You
nothing.
ain't monetized. No monetization on your end, bro.
How do you have to get? What do you have to do to get?
1,000 subscribers and 4,000 minutes of watch time over the course of a year. So watch time you might get there, but subscribers you need 1,000.
Yeah. Depending on us. Anyway.
And then it's anything, and then you get views anything after that. So you still those 1,000, those 100,000 views, mate, they're gone. No monetization on those. You have to, anything after that, maybe, but not now. There you go. YouTube backend talk, people. There you go. You're welcome.
It's all good. Anyway, thank you very much for coming by, stopping by, saying hi, listening, whatever it is that you did. And we'll see you next time. We'll be here on Saturday doing our podcast. And we'll probably be doing something tomorrow, but we haven't decided what yet. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye bye.